Yeah, I mean, it's cool. People just don't realize. Even Ebro now still says, I can't tell when you're not using AutoTune. Wow. Like, even when I'm not using it, you just can't tell. And, people ask me, why did I ever use AutoTune? And, cover up my voice with it. And like I said, it was just to set me apart. But on my first album, there was minimal AutoTune. Like, I didn't use AutoTune a lot on my first album.
I'm in love with a stripper.
That was
barely had any, right? It was
right.
Like,
yeah, it was just on the breakdowns. So you know what I'm saying. So, and people didn't notice. Nobody had any idea. They just was so used to hearing me with AutoTune. It was just like, I guess that's still there. I guess that's just what it sounds like. But the fact that I kept using it and things like that, people got weird about it. But I'm like, my first album didn't have that much AutoTune on it. My second album was full of AutoTune. Right. Second album went double platinum. Right. First album still sitting at gold. I'm probably gonna keep doing this one.
If we get into the money.
Hey, what's going on, family? It's Tamen Hade, and right here we have T-Pain saying, pretty much saying how to use AutoTune. I'm gonna give you like 3 points that's gonna help you to use this tool on this AutoTune for your benefit and not your detriment. So check it out. So number 1. First, you want to use AutoTune for creative purposes, not to fix your pitch. This may sound crazy because you're like, AutoTune is to fix the pitch. Yes, it is. But you want to use it from a creative stance, not from a I need it stance. There's other tools that you can use to help fix your pitch without it sounding like AutoTune, right? So I have a song that I released that I did, I think like 2013, that's a while ago, right? And there's a part of the song where I actually use AutoTune, but I don't use it in a way that's like to fix the pitch. It's to create like a certain effect. I just play the clip. It sounds like this.
Heads up, put on your crown. You're the leader of this nation, future in this place, and you got to lead this out.
Now, if you heard the song, that little portion of the song, it's almost like a breakdown, and I use the AutoTune to create like a computerized voice effect to make it a little more interesting at this specific moment. But in the other part of the song, there's no AutoTune in it, and even that whole project, I don't think I really used any AutoTune. I didn't want to use AutoTune for pitch correction. I used it for creative purposes. And there's some other songs I think I've used AutoTune as well. And I think that might be a better way to do it, because that's what T-Pain did. He did it for creative purposes. He used it to make himself stand out in a different way, because he didn't need the AutoTune. He said it. He did not need the AutoTune. Some people still don't know when he's using the AutoTune or not, but it helped him to separate himself from the pack as a creative purpose. So now, number 2 point. The way to use AutoTune to fix your pitch is to not use AutoTune. You want to use a different type of pitch correction program, which in FL Studios is called Newtone, but a lot of other programs, they use this program called Melodyne. And what Melodyne and Newtone actually do is that they allow you to literally take every note of the voice and make sure it's perfectly on the pitch. But not only does it allow you to make sure it's perfectly on the pitch or the right sound, it allows you to control more variables in the sound. So for example, AutoTune is like kind of automated, right? And you can only change certain things. You can't do as much with the exact sound, and it's being played, if that makes any sense, meaning that it's doing it in real time. As to like the Newtone or the Melodyne, you can actually edit the sound and it's set that way. You don't have to go through and make sure that you have enough processing power and all the different things that can affect the sound of the what are we talking about? AutoTune. The sound of the AutoTune. So Newtone and Melodyne, those are a lot better if you want to use pitch correction. like if something is off, you know. And I have used pitch correction in the past. I don't use it as much as I used to once in a while, but in the beginning, I use pitch correction, like with the new tone and sometimes with the melody. I have used that to make sure my certain notes were on the right pitch, or to make sure that my vibrato wasn't too wide and things like that, which are certain things you can control in those programs. And the last point I want to point out in this clip is that you want to use these tools to set yourself apart. So the AutoTune is a perfect example of using a vocal effect that can set yourself apart if used correctly. Now, nowadays, a lot of people use AutoTune all the time, and it's almost like seen as like a normality, like it has AutoTune in it. But it's actually more effective if you use the tool from it, like we said, a creative standpoint, to make yourself stand out. You want to use these things to enhance the music, not as a dependent for the music. And there's a big difference. You can tell when someone is using it as a dependency or as using it for a creative stance. When you use it in a creative stance, it allows you to stand out. And there's a lot of artists that have used it that way. Most of the artists who started off using AutoTune consistently were using it that way. Where nowadays, a lot of people use it because they need to, right? You don't want to be one of those guys. So if you got any value out of this video, if you got any information that you did not know, please hit the please hit the subscribe button, and definitely visit me at TamenHade.com, where you can find even more of my music, more of my content, and you can reach out to me directly. So I see you guys later. Genius out.